Hey guys, so I recently made a YouTube short prompting the question, what makes someone a furry, and alluded to making a more in-depth video about the topic. Well, here's the video. I've actually wanted to talk about furries for a while now, but just didn't know exactly what I wanted to discuss, because there's honestly a lot of topics surrounding furries that need to be discussed, which is why it was such a struggle to think of a title that fit this video's topic, because I will be covering a lot of things about furries. Before I get into anything, I should address something. I like drawing anthro characters, as you might notice, and I enjoy lots of animal-related media. Pokemon, Kung Fu Panda, and Bluey, to name a few. From what I just described, a lot of people would assume that I'm a furry, but the thing is, I'm not a furry. At least, I don't consider myself one. And this is where the main question comes into play. What makes someone a furry? First, I'll answer some smaller related questions. Does having an interest in animals or anthro characters make you a furry? No, it doesn't. Does drawing animals or anthro characters make you a furry? No, it doesn't. And does having a fursuit make you a furry? Despite what most people would assume, it actually doesn't. People with fursuits are usually furries, but it's not the case for everyone. There are some people out there who own fursuits and don't identify as furries. So then, what makes someone a furry? Basically, if a person wants to be a furry and calls themselves one, they are a furry. That's it. That's all there is to this big question. And you do not have to own a fursuit, go to furry conventions. Heck, you don't even have to be active in the furry community. A lot of people think you have to own a fursuit in order to be a furry, or be active within the community, when that's just completely untrue. If that were the case, it'd be unfair, especially considering how expensive fursuits are. Some suits can cost as much as $20,000. That's more money than my car. So yeah, don't worry about having a fursuit if you want to be a furry. You don't need one. Basically, if you enjoy animals with human characteristics in some way, maybe even draw them, and want to be a furry, then you are a furry. And maybe you enjoy some or even all of those things, but don't want to be a furry. That's totally valid, and if you don't see yourself as a furry, then you're not a furry. And this all seems easy enough to understand, until one day when you're drawing an anthropomorphic character of yours in class and get called a furry. I'm sure most people watching this have experienced this exact situation or something similar. But yeah, you're only a furry if you choose to be one, but that's clearly not widely known to everyone, because people will see someone even slightly interested in something furry related and proceed to call or assume the person is a furry. It's happened to me, and it's probably happened to a lot of you watching. Heck, it even happens to a lot of YouTubers. So, in the end of the day, someone is only a furry if they choose to be a furry, and if they don't want to be one, then they aren't a furry. But as I said, not everyone is going to know that offhand. A lot of people will just assume someone is a furry if they like anything furry related. And this would be fine if it weren't for the fact that furries are judged. Unfortunately, the furry community has a bad reputation. It only takes a few bad apples to ruin a community's reputation, and yes, it's like that for all communities, but sadly, the furry community seems to get a lot more hate than other communities. It's just the sad truth, and not only that, a lot of people find the concept of furries to be weird. So even if someone thinks furries are really cool and likes drawing them or dressing up as them, they might be worried to tell their friends, family, or peers that they think furries are cool, or that they are a furry. I actually got a lot of comments on both my YouTube short and YouTube poll about people admitting to me that they like furry-related things, and worrying about being judged for it. Or that the stigma around the furry community stops them from being a furry. Which is so sad. People shouldn't have to feel that way. You should be allowed to like furry things or be a furry without being judged. But as I said, the furry community has a bad reputation, and because of that, there's a lot of hate towards furries. Overall, the hate furries get is really blown out of proportion. Like, I've heard all kinds of terrible stories, whether it's being barked at by other kids in school, getting laughed at for drawing warrior cats, which aren't even full-fledged furries, might I add, or even just hearing people make rude remarks about furries. It's insane, and it is so not deserved. I'm really sorry to any furry watching that has dealt with an experience similar to one of these. You don't deserve it. Also, I didn't know where to add this, but I want to address some furry misconceptions, because a lot of people like to assume things about furries. Firstly, furries don't think they're an actual animal. They find animals cool and enjoy dressing up as them, but furries are well aware that they are humans behind the mask. That said, therians do exist, and they do identify as animals, but I'm pretty sure it's different for every therian on how much they think they are an animal. But anyways, furries are not therians, and yes, those two things can overlap, but majority of furries don't think they're an animal. Secondly, furries are not into animals. The people who are into animals are called zoophiles. They are disgusting people and are not accepted into the furry community in any manner. Thirdly, not all furries are gay. While many furries are a part of the LGBTQ community, there are a lot of straight furries too, just not as many. And that's it for the furry misconceptions. Although if anyone watching thinks of any more misconceptions, please share them in the comment section, as that really helps people understand furries better. And that pretty much covers everything I wanted to discuss about furries. Some of you might remember I made a video about what a furry is back in 2022. The reason why I decided to make another is because I've learned a lot more about furries since then, and I also talked a lot about myself in that video, which is fine, but I wanted to cover the topic at hand about what makes someone a furry, not my personal story about why I'm not a furry. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. It's been Lemon Puppy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all next time.